Hi everyone, Kevin from Geektopia Island here. Today I'm going to be doing a new Beri video. It's going to be a theory video instead of the normal live reaction / review of the chapter, because well, the chapter's on break this week. So if you're not caught up to the manga, then go ahead and X out of this, because I'm going to be talking about stuff that's in the future of One Piece and what I believe is going to happen with it. So if you're not fully caught up, go ahead and X out and then just come back whenever you're caught up and check this video out. Okay guys? But if you are caught up, let's delve right into it. So my theory for this video today is going to be that I believe that Shirahoshi is going to join the Mugiwara crew as the resident fishman of the crew. She's going to take the place of Jinbei after Wano Country, I believe. And I'll get into why I think that later, but for now that's what the theory is about, is that Shirahoshi is going to join as a member of the crew, taking the place of Jinbei. So, with that, I'm going to go into my details and reasons why I believe that she's going to join. And first off, I mean, there's the prophecy that Shirahoshi was in, that if a good man leads her, she'll help the world. And if an evil man leads her, then she'll destroy the world. So what better person to be the good man that leads her is Luffy. Because Luffy doesn't care about power, doesn't care about glory and all that. He wants to be Pirate King. He just wants the freedom of going wherever he wants, doing what he wants. He knows it comes with a cost, but he knows that he doesn't have to. He's not the person that would rule with an iron fist or just destroy the world because he can. That's not Luffy. That's not the kind of person he is. So I think Shirahoshi's prophecy would come true in that regard, that she'd be following Luffy, so she'd be led down the path of good. Also, that being said, they made a promise to her, the whole crew made a promise to her, that they would take her to a forest at some point. So what better way to do that than have her join the crew, so that way she can go see a forest on land, like an actual forest, not an underground sea forest. She wants to see an actual above ground with lots of trees and plants and animals and all that kind of forest. So I think that's her like mission, because all crew members have to have like a goal that they want to do, and I think hers is just to explore the world. So I think that's her main. She has small little steps, like number one is to see a forest, and so forth, so on. I think she'll be a good addition to the crew, just because she's got a lot to bring to the table with her. I mean, first off and foremost, she's Poseidon. She's the ancient weapon Poseidon that everyone calls. She has the ability to control sea kings, for those that don't know. And the sea kings are the giant animals, the giant sea creatures of the ocean, that they live in the Grand Line? Well, they live in the Grand Line, but the barrier between the oceans. The calm belt. Good lord, that was hard to get to. Anyways, she has the ability to control them and talk to them, like all mermaids can with other fish, but she can talk to the big ones. And so I think that's going to be another one of her main reasons for joining, because she is an ancient weapon, and they've talked about the ancient weapons in this series of One Piece, that no person can have control of all of them. That was like the whole thing of Water 7. Spandam was about to have 2 ancient weapons, and that was too much for one person to have. And currently Luffy already has 2 ancient weapons. Technically he has Robin, who can awaken one of them through the poneglyphs, and he has Frankie, who can build the other one. Because sure, Frankie destroyed the blueprints, but I'm pretty sure he knows how to build that ship. He probably saw it enough that he knows how to build that ship that can fight the one that Robin can wake up. So if Luffy gets a 3rd ancient weapon, then he's the best person to have it, because he's not going to wield the power like it's a blade. He's just going to know that it's there, and he's going to treat her like a person instead of as a weapon, really. Put it that way. Because Luffy wants her to be a part of his crew. If he does, or whatever, like, then she'll be a part of the crew as a crew member, not a weapon. Because he doesn't treat Robin or Frankie any different. He doesn't even care. He just doesn't care that they know about that. He just wants to have his adventure with his friends, and that's pretty much what I believe is going to happen with Shirahoshi. She has the ability to awaken that, she is the weapon, the 3rd weapon, and so she'll be able to talk to all the Sea Kings and have them fight for her or do whatever. And it's already been shown that the destructive power of the Sea Kings. So with that being said, I do believe at the end of the series, or near the end of the series, whenever we get the Luffy crew versus the Blackbeard crew, that's going to be an epic fight in and of itself. Because if Luffy does have Shirahoshi on his crew, and she has the ability to control Sea Kings like she does, then she's going to be able to have a great fight in the water, because they don't have any kind of water ability right now. Like, they don't have any... They can fight really great on land, but none of the crew can fight super well in the water or on the water. So I think if they have her in the water fighting, I think she's going to end up fighting against San Juan Wolf, the big battleship dude that they talked about in Blackbeard's crew that was hiding behind the, Marineford. And I think that's going to be a huge fight in the water. Because just think about that fight. He can probably turn into like a battleship. That's why his name was San Juan Wolf, the battleship. Or they nicknamed him Battleship, whatever. But I think her fighting him would be amazing to watch, just because she could bring all the different Sea Kings and we get to see all of their abilities and what they can do and how they work. Because that's a big part of the thing that we're not really seeing. Like, we know they're big and they probably bite hard, but that's really about all we know. And so to see them fight against him would be awesome. And have her just controlling them in the background, just telling them where to go and what to do, would be so cool to watch. Like, it'd be one of the best fights ever. Sure, it would give Luffy a super power-up boost, but where that gets curbed is because of her lack of confidence in herself. I mean, yes, a lot of things would be that it would be like another Usopp in the crew, but I don't really think so, because she doesn't really fit that role. Like, yes, she's weak, but I think that's because of who she is. Like, Usopp is strong, and he knows he can be strong, and he actually is being strong right now. He's not like... Yeah, he gets scared real easily, but he's not afraid of everything like she technically is. She's just terrified of the world because she's never seen it. So I think in that regard is where they're different. And I think in her role in the crew, other than Fishman, resident Fishman, would be that of like a cabin boy or a cabin girl. Like, more or less I'm explaining like Buggy and Shanks were to Roger's crew, where they were just like extras on the crew that helped out, and like they probably like swabbed the deck or did all the like grunt work, really. Because they're learning how to be a pirate, just growing up doing things. So I think that's what her role in the crew would be, other than resident Fishman, would be that of a cabin girl. She would just not... She wouldn't know what to do, really, and she wouldn't really have huge fights, because she's not really a main... Like, she is a part of the crew, but she's not like one of the main fighters. That's not her purpose on the crew. But she can hold her own. So I think that's where the biggest part of it's going to be, in that her role on the crew of. But as for her taking the place of resident Fishman, the reason I believe this is because Jinbei's had death flags all over this One Piece, like Whole Cake Island, everywhere. Just Jinbei has been on the verge of death the entire time. And I think that's the reason that Oda's keeping him from joining the crew completely, is because he doesn't want us to get super attached to him when he has to kill off Jinbei. So that sounds pretty rough, but that's what I believe is going to happen. So the reason I say this, Shirahoshi's at the Reverie right now, and she didn't really want to go. But they talked her into it, and they were like, you can't, if Luffy finds out you didn't go, you're going to be called weak again. So she's gonna be like, I can't have that. So she was gonna want to go. So she went. And the first thing that happened when she got there was St. Charles tried to take her and make her his slave. Not really the best way to start out. So she's already kind of terrified of humans in that regard. And she's had to deal with Vanderdecken for 10 years throwing crap at her wall. But so with that, I think something's bad's going to happen at the Reverie. Like, something super, super crazy is going to happen. And we're not going to really know about it until after the fact. But it's going to mess up Shirahoshi pretty fierce. And she's going to end up going back down. She'll be able to control it for a little bit and not lose her mind. But then I think Big Mom's going to show up and start destroying Fishman Island. And that's going to send her over the edge. Like, she'll be teetering on the fence of normal to insanity, And I think once Big Mom shows up and pushes her over is when she's going to snap. And they've talked about when she freaks out and when she snaps, she summons all the Sea Kings and they start destroying everything because they're trying to protect her or whatever. So I think when that happens, Jinbei and the crew and Luffy and all of them are going to have to go back to Fishman Island to stop Big Mom. And, which that I'll get to too. But they're going to go back to Fishman Island and Jinbei's going to end up having to sacrifice himself to stop Shirahoshi from doing something. Or he's going to sacrifice himself in a way that prevents Shirahoshi from either dying or getting killed or killing somebody. He's going to do something, sacrificing himself, and he's going to have Luffy join. He's going to be like, Luffy, you need to take her with you and show her the correct way of how humans are and the correct way of what to do. You know what I mean? Because she's only ever seen really bad humans. She's not really seen that many good humans. So I think that's going to be a big deciding factor in why she would join or why she wouldn't join. Continuing on with Fishman Island, I think the reason I think we're going back to Fishman Island is partially due to the fact that Big Mom's going to find out that the fishmen were there. Like, she already knows the fishmen were there fighting her, but she's going to remember that they helped Luffy's get out and that she's going to take her revenge on Luffy out on them. And then once she finds out that the King Neptune took her flag down and put Luffy's up as a protector of the island, that's going to piss her off even more. So she's going to go and attack the fishermen as a retaliation, and Luffy's going to come back and protect. But the reason I say that in that regard is because of Madame Shirley's prediction. Her prediction was that Luffy's going to destroy Fishman Island, and the picture that they showed in the anime was Luffy like walking in with a man with a Mugiwara, a silhouette of a man with a Mugiwara, and a whole bunch of fire behind him. So the only real character that we know of that has that much fire besides Ace and Sabo now is Prometheus. And Prometheus has every reason and right to come destroy Fishman Island, which is with Big Mom, because she's going to come in, she's going to throw Prometheus around everywhere, catching everything on fire, destroying everything. And that's going to send Shirahoshi into a spiral downward. And then she's going to lose her mind, snap, try to kill everything. Junbei's going to end up sacrificing himself and having Luffy take her with him. So the other reason I think Jinbei's going to die is as per For Neverworld. Thank you, For Neverworld, for giving me this idea. I mean, you stated it. I'm just using it, but credit goes to you. That Jinbei may have less than a year of life left, because when she tried to take his life at Whole Cake Island, she couldn't. So maybe her ability only takes actual years away from the person. Who knows? We're not sure exactly what it does. They all said it was out of his lack of fear of her. But I kind of liked his ideas. I liked Forever's thought on that he has less than a year, so it's not going to trigger, because it's not going to lose. He doesn't lose any actual lifespan, because he's going to live less than a year. So it can't take the actual years off of his life. I don't know if that's true or not, but I really like the idea, so I'm going to stick with it and use it. So thanks again, Forever, for that. So another couple little minor things of why I think she's going to join is one of the big reasons of Fishman Island that happened was Sanji was cured by her. So what I mean by that is Sanji had the whole huge nosebleeds when he saw a woman for the first time after 2 years coming back. And the person that saved him from that, or like stopped him from nosebleeds, was Shirahoshi. When he first saw her, he turned to stone. And that reset his, I guess you want to call it, reset his core thinking. And he treated her just like he would Nami and Robin, because he brought out little cups for them and brought out a big cup of tea for her to drink while they were talking. So the entire time after he met her, he treated her like she was part of the crew. Yes, he treats everyone like that, but it's Oda's little way of foreshadowing that she'll probably join the crew, in my opinion. That's just what I think of it. That's one of the small things I saw in Fishman Island, that she's the reason that he turned back to normal. Also, just it'd be funny to watch the interaction between her and Boa if they ever met, just because, especially if she's already joined the crew, because that'd be another reason that Boa would, the whole running gag of she doesn't like Nami and Robin because they're girls on the crew, and she's in love with Luffy and they're trying to steal him away from her. It'd just be funny to see, because they've mentioned in the manga that Shirahoshi actually puts Boa, like, her beauty is comparable to Boa or even greater. So it'd be funny to see their interaction. And I don't know, as far as people like saying that Shirahoshi's not very likable, I can understand where they're coming from, because she's a very weak character at the moment. Like, her thoughts and my mentality is that of a weak child. Like, she's very childlike in her demeanor. So, but in the same regard, I think Oda's ability to make people likable, he can do that with her and it'll work out. What I mean by that is like Caesar Clown. Everyone hated Caesar Clown for a while because he was an evil person. But by the end of Whole Cake Island, you kind of liked him. Not like a lot, but a little bit. You liked him enough to not want him to just die. I mean, you still didn't really care if he did or not, but you know what I mean. He was actually like a likable character, even though it was like a plucky like. It's like Buggy. Buggy was the same way. You didn't really like Buggy at the start, and then now he's awesome. It's Buggy. But it's the same idea. Oda can make anyone likable. He's just got to figure out how to do that. And he's real good at doing that. So I think he's got a plan for it. And I think those are my main reasons as to why I think she's going to join. She's a very different crew member if she does join. So I don't know. I just think it'll work out in the long run if she does join, because she takes up the fisherman spot. She'll be the like trainee, as what is when you call it, in the crew. So she's not really going to have like a crazy spot in the crew. But she'll be there. And I don't know, I just think the interactions between her and the rest of the crew will be fun to see. And yes, she is huge, but there's other ways they can deal with that. They've even talked about there's like the special thing in Fishman Island that can lower your, I think they talked about they can lower your size, but I really don't think that's the case. I don't think I think that's the other reason that she's going to join after, is because she's probably going to stay big. And they're only really going to go to like big islands or have more water-based things in the new world later on. So she'll be more of an active character that just swims along with the ship. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it'd be really cool to just have like a giant mermaid swimming with them, you know what I mean? And they also stated that a princess would join. Yes, a lot of people would state that Vivi is the princess, but it could be Shirahoshi instead that he was talking about. He just was trolling everyone. We'll just have to see. But that's my theories and thoughts on the video. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you like about it. If you don't like it or not, just let me know down below. And as always, just keep checking back with Geektopia Island. I'll have new content every week, hopefully. So y'all have a great day. Thanks guys for joining us here at Geektopia. Bye.